thumb. I'm trying to go ahead and start this live. If I get it set up. Once again, they don't have the Hangouts on here anymore, so I'm trying to make sure it's right for Israel. So there it goes. All right, so we live. Back with another Sabbath class through the Spirit and the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. I want to start off first and foremost, once again, giving all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Hamashiach, Wamalak Yahushua, Barakathum, Shalom to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. This is Brother Yahweh Nah, with the Flaming Fire Israel, back with another Sabbath class through the Spirit and the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And today, it's going to be a nice little lesson on, diligence and, being consistent. All right, you want to be consistent in this thing, man. All right, you want to be diligent in these scriptures, man. You want to be diligent in learning. You want to continue to always be learning. All right, you got to be consistent, man. Everybody needs to be exhorted every once in a while, even myself. All right, so this is pretty much an exhortation for the brethren to, get more in the spirit and be more consistent. All right, and go harder for the Most High. In the name of His only begotten Son, Yahushua. All right, so we're going to start at Sirach chapter 38 and verse 24. All right, this is Sirach chapter 38 and verse 24. And it says, "The wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure, and he that have little business shall become wise." Right, so a lot of people, they wonder why they're not increasing in this thing. They wonder why they're not increasing in learning, getting more wisdom. It's because they're not making time for the Most High. All right? Wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure. Leisure is when you're not really doing nothing. You're chilling, your spare time, your free time. All right? That's when you should be in these scriptures, man. All right? That's when you should be learning. That's when you should be in this and making time for the Most High. A lot of people ask why, they wonder why they still in the same place in this thing. They're not really learning no more. They're not really getting more knowledge and wisdom. It's because they're not making any spare time for the Most High. You're always doing any and everything else instead of being in these scriptures and getting more wisdom and knowledge. All right? You got to do this. You're working. Then you got to go do this. Then you're doing that. Then you're doing this right here. Then you're doing that. By the time you're done with that, it's time to go to sleep, man. All right? So you want to always make sure that you got time for the Most High, man. Make your time for the Most High just like you make time for everything else. This is the most important thing, so you got to make time for Him. All right? So you got to make time because the wisdom comes when you have opportunity of leisure, right? And he that have little business shall become wise. So, if you got little business, you're not really doing that much, all right? That's when you beget wisdom. That's when the Most High comes and sups with you. All right, let me get Revelations, the 3rd chapter, and verse 20. It's Revelation chapter 3, verse 20. And it reads, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him, and he with me." Right? So look, you gotta open the door, man. A lot of people, they haven't opened the door, they increase their knowledge, man. A lot of people, the Most High standing at the door and knocking, and you sleep, man. Or you're not even home, man. You doing other things. All right? So look, you gotta make time for the Most High for Him to sup with you, man. You're not gonna increase in knowledge doing everything else, and you forgetting precepts, you forgetting breakdowns, you forgetting how to really talk about things. All right, that's when the Spirit can leave from you, man. When you stop playing games, when you start playing games, man. All right. So, you want to make sure that you always giving diligence to this thing, man, and you allowing time for the Most High to come and sup with you. All right, and this one of my favorite precepts in Isaiah 34 and 16. You got to be seeking in this book, man. All right? Let's get Isaiah chapter 34 and verse 16. This is Isaiah chapter 34 and 16. It says, "Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. No one of these shall fail, none shall want her mate, for my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them. Right, so you gotta seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read, man. You gotta be reading these scriptures, man. Alright? I get, brothers, and you busy, you gotta do certain things, alright? You gotta use the word without abusing it, alright? But you don't want to forget about the Most High. You want to make sure you seeking out this book and reading. Alright? If you miss reading, make sure you make it up the next day reading more than you usually read. Continually reading, man. Alright? Reading. Get more knowledge, wisdom. Alright? It's more than just watching videos, man. Alright? It's more than just, you're not taking no notes. You gotta take notes. A lot of brothers don't even take notes when they watch videos, man. Alright? They sit around, they watch the videos, they chill, they get their popcorn, they get them something to drink. They sit around and they crack up on Esau, man, and they love watching those type of videos. And when it comes to breakdowns and videos like this, nobody wants to watch them, man. Oh man, they're not getting on Esau. I don't want to watch this. Where's the one they getting on Esau in? All right. So let me get Revelation chapter 1 verse 3. Revelation chapter 1 and verse 3. And it reads, Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. Right? Don't you know the time is at hand? Don't you know Yahweh Shah is coming back? Alright? Don't you know these prophecies are kicking off? Alright? So you should be giving more and more time for these scriptures. You should be giving more and more time for the Most High to sup with you, man. You wondering why you in a stalemate. You're not really learning no more. You really don't care about it no more. And, you over the truth. And, you think you better than the truth now. And, you doing your own thing, sort of. You mixing your light, but you just saying you an Israelite. That's when brothers, you see these brothers that's on here talking about they ex-Hebrew Israelites. They come out talking about they ex-Hebrew. Well, you can't be an ex-Hebrew Israelite because that's your nationality. This isn't a religion. This isn't a fad. This isn't a trend. It's not something you could just get over. All right, this is what you are, whether you want to believe it or not. You're gonna be an Israelite regardless. All right, so that's what we gotta understand, man. All right, so come on, we gotta seek the Lord while He's near, man. Let me get that precept, Isaiah, back to Isaiah, the 55th chapter. This is Isaiah chapter 55 and verse 6. It says, Seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. Right, so you gotta call upon the Most High while he's near, man. Alright? You gotta seek the Lord while he may be found, while these Bibles is here. You got brothers breaking it down. You got precepts for understanding. You got knowledge and wisdom. You gotta seek the Lord while he may be found. You got a lot of people not even seeking the Lord, man. Alright? But they wondering why they slowly, they willing away, man. Because the Most High told you he can blow your candle out, man. He can take your spirit away, man. Alright? So you gotta understand that, man. So let me get another precept in Revelations. Wish I would have got it when I was in it. Revelations 3 and 15. All right, this is Revelation chapter 3, verse 15. It says, I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou wert cold or hot. So then, because thou art lukewarm, and neither cold or hot, nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. Right, so look, a lot of our people, they in this truth, they calling themselves Israelites. They lukewarm, man. They in the middle, they're not really on fire. All right? They're not really in this thing. They don't go out in the highways and byways, some of them, which is okay. Some brothers ain't teaching. Some brothers, but you got to be helping in some type of way. All right? But, you got some brothers that, they just in the middle, man. They just a dead body, man. All right? They just dead weight. All right? So you don't want to be lukewarm because the Most High spew you out of his mouth. He said he'd rather you be cold or hot. He'd rather you be on fire, all right, or cold, completely out of this thing, man. Don't be in the middle calling yourself an Israelite, but yet you don't want to increase in learning. Yet you don't want to get more knowledge and wisdom. All right. Shalom, brother Levon. Yet you don't want to do certain things pleasing unto the Most High. So you got to be consistent in learning, man. All right, and you got to make time for the Most High, man. All right, how you going to be consistent in something if you ain't making time? All right? You remember back in the world when, Jake had, school, when you had school, or, you might be brothers that's still in school right now. If you got school, man, and you got a test coming up, and, you got to study God, and you got multiple things you got to look into, if you don't make no time to do it, you going to fail the test, man. If you don't make no time to look and study and get into it, you're going to fail the test. Likewise, a lot of brothers is not in these scriptures. They're going to fail the test when Jacob's trouble comes. They're going to fail the test when the fire comes. They think a lot of things popping off now, but you got fire. The Lord's going to sift out the people, the chosen that's really for him, man. Through the fire. They're going to be made perfect. So you're going to have to go through hell. All right? So these scriptures are here to nurture you before you go through this hell, man. For you to understand certain things. For you to understand what to do. All right? For you to understand how to move and what the Lord is well pleased in. All right? So come. Salaki. Let me get 1 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 13. And it reads, and with all, they learn to be idle, wandering about from house to house, and not only idle, but tattlers also and busybodies, speaking things which they ought not. So a lot of people, they learn to be idle, man. They learn to, they was in fire when they first came into this truth. They couldn't watch enough videos. They couldn't take enough notes. But they slowly learn to be idle, man. All right? They slowly, they get out of this thing, man. All right? Verse 14, I will therefore that the younger women marry and bear children, guide the house, give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully. For some are already turned aside after Satan. So a lot of brothers, they've already turned aside to these different doctrines. They've been deceived. All right. They teaching against the truth now. A lot of people just, they not moving in the spirit anymore, man. All right. And it goes into you being idle. That's what makes you do those certain things. When you're idle, you're not really in this thing anymore. All right. You think it's, you over the truth like we were saying earlier. All right. So some people have already turned into Satan, man. All right. So, you gotta do things that that's pleasing unto the Lord, and you can't be learning to continue to be idle, man. That's the key that I wanted in verse 13, man. Some people are idle in this thing, man. You're not really going nowhere. You in the middle, man. All right, either turn the car off or put it in drive and go and press the gas, man. All right, you being idle just like a car. All right, you're not going nowhere in this thing, man. You being lukewarm like we read earlier, man. All right. So let me get Acts the 14th chapter and the 22nd verse. So don't be idle in this thing, man. You gotta continue in diligence, man. You gotta be consistent. All right, let me get that Acts 14. Bear with me. All right, this is Acts chapter 14 and verse 22. It says, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith. And this is what this video pretty much is, an exhortation. All right, exhorting men to continue in the faith, man. All right, so this is what this is, an exhortation for you to continue in the faith, man. All right, I'm gonna read that again. Confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of God. So y'all think we went through something now? You think you've been caught something on the streets, these devils getting onto you, your own people hating you? You think it's something now? You got to go through a fire. Jacob's trouble, a time that's never been before is coming, man. All right? So this is an exhortation video for, brothers need it all the time. Even brothers that's mighty in the truth. All right? You need an exhortation. You need just to talk. You need to just get built up again. All right? So be consistent in this learning, man. Be consistent. Always make sure you not, you just running idle, man. All right. So, let me get Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1. I'm gonna read this one more time though. Confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must through much tribulation enter to the kingdom of God. So through much tribulation, we're gonna get this kingdom, man. So you gotta build yourself up for that. You're not building yourself up for that if you're not making no time for the Most High. You're not building yourself up for that if you're doing everything else, but you're not ready. You're not trying to serve the Most High. You're not trying to even look in the scriptures, man. You just call yourself Israelites, and that's what the scriptures say. Straightway a man forgetteth. I gotta get that scripture. Let me get that precept. Bear with me, Ezra. Bear with me. Right. This is James chapter 1 and verse 23. Well, actually, we're just going to get 24. And he beholdeth himself and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was. Right. So a lot of people, if you're not steady in this thing, you just start being. Well, we'll read verse 23 too. For if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass. For he beholdeth himself and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was. So look, you got a lot of people that just hearing this. They don't really do it. They're not really in here. They hear these videos, but they ain't gonna. They're not gonna extra. They're not gonna be consistent in learning. All right. They're not gonna go in these scriptures and look into them. They're not gonna be diligent. All right. And the scripture goes up there. It says you're deceiving your own selves. But the point I wanted to get, for he beholdeth himself and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was. So that goes into also you forget who you were. You'll forget these scriptures, man. You'll forget these breakdowns, man. All right. You forget. You'll find yourself doing something unlawful because you're not standing these scriptures, man. You're not being diligent in it, man. All right. You're not opening up. You're not seeking out a book. You're not meditating therein day and night like the scriptures tell you to do. All right, let's. I always get these scriptures, Joshua 1 and 8, but it's nothing wrong with going over to milk. Nothing wrong with it. Get Joshua chapter 1 verse 8, and it says, "This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night." And people don't understand what meditating day and night is. You got to be making time for the Most High, man. All right, there's no excuse for you not to make time for the Most High throughout your day. All right, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. So you got to observe to do according to all that is written therein. How you going to observe to do according to all that's written therein? And you don't really know what's going on in the book, man. All right, brothers is not built up in this thing, not studying themselves, to showing themselves approved. You get one of these Christians, that actually, they know how to sneak and get Jake is not built up in the scriptures, man. Maybe you start thinking, you'll start going up. Well, maybe Christianity is right, man. Well, maybe Islam is the way. Well, maybe this other philosophy is the way. All right, because you're not really built up in these scriptures. You wasn't studying to show yourself approved. You weren't able to give every man an answer, man. All right. Certain brothers, you can't come at them, man. All right, and these Christians, these these deceivers, all these other philosophies, they look for the weak brothers that's not built up. They look for the weak brothers that really ain't got the answers like that. It's just sort of being a dead weight, dead body, man. They look for the weak brothers that don't know the breakdowns themselves. They're just gonna speak and say things without really hearkening, man. All right, so you want to make sure that you consistent in learning. And that you stand diligent in this thing, man. That you meditating therein day and night, man. All right? So come. This is Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1. That's what I was going to get. So you got to make sure you meditate in this thing, man. All right? This is Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1. Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doeth so easily beset us, let us run with patience unto the race that is set before us. Right, so look, you gotta lay aside every weight. If something's keeping you from spending time with the Lord, if something's keeping you from supping with the Lord, if something's keeping you, it might be a person, it might be a thing, it might be something. If anything's keeping you away from standing in these scriptures and being diligent and consistent and learning, you need to cut it off, man. All right, like we read about in Matthew, man. All right, if your right eye offend thee, cut it off. You gotta cut certain things off that's hindering you, man. All right. So, let me get another precept. Proverbs. Salakia, bear with me. Proverbs 19, I believe. This is Proverbs chapter 19 and verse 15. Slothfulness casteth into a deep sleep, and an idle soul shall suffer hunger. Right, so slothfulness, you being slothful, it casts you into a deep sleep, man. Slothfulness is another word for laziness. You being lazy, it casts you into a deep sleep. All right, then you start forgetting precepts. Then you don't really know what's going on, and you get left behind. Certain brothers that just now came in the truth, they outdoing you. All right, so you don't wanna be cast into a deep sleep. We got a whole video on the channel on slothfulness. All right, laziness. All right, and I can really go into that with that lesson, but for brothers, that want to learn more about being lazy and its truth and how it's not accepted, is a video about slothfulness on the channel. All right, so I'm gonna also get another precept in Proverbs. Well, actually, I would go into that if I was going into sluggard, but brothers can read it for themselves. It's Proverbs 6 and 6 through 11, and it goes hand in hand with being a sluggard. Being lazy in this thing. All right. So let me get Proverbs chapter 14, verse 23. This is Proverbs chapter 14 and verse 23, and it reads, "In all labor there is profit, but the talk of the lips tendeth only to penury." Right. So in all labor there's a profit. There's profit in you. You might not think you're not getting no profit from reading one chapter, reading a little bit. You might not think you get no profit from reading a book, reading a letter. All right, but all labor is profit, man. You understand certain things that you didn't before, man. Labor is work. Going out there and working and out there on the highways and byways. But what a lot of brothers don't talk about, work is also going through these scriptures, getting precepts, understanding them, remembering them. This is work too. That's work doing that, man. All right. You can go out there on the highways and byways, but do you really know what you're talking about? Did you really do due diligence? Did you consistently go in the scriptures to give an answer to every man? All right. So I want another precept I want to get in Proverbs. It's Proverbs chapter 14. Boy, that's what I just got. So lucky. It's Proverbs 10, I believe. Right. Proverbs 10 and 4, it says, "He becometh poor that dealeth with a slack hand, but the hand of the diligent maketh rich." Right, so you want to be diligent in this thing, man. If you're dealing with a slack hand, you being lazy, you ain't really going and doing the work. All right, you being lazy, man. You gotta look. Read it again, Proverbs 10 and 4. All right, he becometh poor that dealeth with a slack hand, but the hand of the diligent maketh rich. If you diligent, you're gonna be rich. You're gonna get these riches, wisdom. All right, which is above all riches, man. All right. And I'm gonna go back to Proverbs 14 and 23 and read that again. All labor there is profit, man. So all your labor is a profit for these things, man. All right. It's a profit for it. All right. So never think that that reading and watching a video ain't gonna help you out, man. But you got to take notes when you're doing that too. All right. Let me get another precept. Salakia. Like I could get that too, but we got that already. We'll go to Proverbs. Alright, Proverbs chapter 20, verse 4. The sluggard will not plow by reason of the cold, therefore shall he beg and harvest and have nothing. Right? This harvest is when his kingdom is come. Alright, you're not gonna have nothing. Alright? So the sluggard will not plow by reason of the cold. You got brothers that make excuses for doing this thing. Maybe that ain't right. I really don't want to go out there and have to deal with and go out on these highways and byways. So I'm just gonna forsake the Lord. I'm just gonna go out of this truth. I'm just gonna get out of this, man. All right. They make excuses. They won't plow by reason of the cold, man. All right. They won't go out there and work when things is going different, when things are going wrong. All right. When certain things happen, they done with it, man. All right. You read about that in Mark, and the cares of this life, man. All right. It'll take you out. Let me get that too. This is Mark chapter 4 and verse 16. And it reads, and these are they likewise which are sown on stony ground, and when they have heard the word, immediately receive it with gladness. Like a lot of people that was in this truth. They immediately received this word with gladness. Right? They loved it. And have no root in themselves. They're not rooted in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And so endure before a time afterward, when affliction or persecution arises for the word's sake, immediately they are offended. Right? Because, they really can't deal with persecution, man. They're offended with being out there, man. They're offended with certain things, man. All right? They come into this truth and, it sounds good. But when they really get into it, you got persecution and affliction and people coming at them. You out there on the highways and byways, you got to come out there. Some of them can't do it, man. All right? They're offended by that. And these are they that are sown among thorns, such as hear the word, and the cares of this world, and the deceitfulness of riches, and the lust of other things entering in, choke the word, and it becometh unfruitful. So you don't want to be one of those people that get the word choked out of them because you caring about other things. You caring about things of the world. All right? Because that can choke you out too. You can't, of course, you got to use the word without abusing it, but you don't want to be, the cares of this world can take you out, man. You caring about everything else. You're not caring about the Most High no more. You're not reading no more. You're not breaking down anything anymore. All right? Your countenance is changing. You look like a whole different type of brother, man. All right? So, Khan, let me get another piece. Back in Proverbs. Actually, I'm going to get Matthew 9. Salakia. Get Matthew chapter 9 and verse 37. And it reads, then saith he unto his disciples, the harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few. Pray ye therefore to the Lord of harvest, that he will send forth laborers into his harvest. Right? So you should be praying for more laborers, brothers is out here that's going to be diligent and consistent, man, in this thing, man. All right? Because the harvest is plenteous, man, but the laborers is few. Not too many people want to labor in this thing, man. All right? So you want to make sure you labor, man. All right? That you constantly working for the Most High. All right? Let's get Luke 10 and 2. That's another precept with that. Therefore said he unto them, the harvest truly is great, but the laborers are few. Right? Once again, in the scriptures, that's Yahushua was saying that a lot, man. All right? Because the laborers is few, man. Who want to really work? Who really want to be consistent in this thing, man? Who want to be diligent? All right? So come. Let me get 1 Peter. First Peter chapter 2 and verse 4. To whom coming as into a living stone, disallowed indeed of men, but chosen of God and precious. Ye also, ye also as lively stones are built up a spiritual house and holy priesthood to offer up a spiritual sacrifice acceptable to God by Hamashiach Yahushua. Right. So you want to be a lively stone, man. You want to be making your body a living sacrifice in this thing. We went through that last night. All right, with the Flame and Fire Friday, man. All right. So you want to be doing that, man. All right, you just don't want to be in this thing just to be in this thing, man. All right. Because you'll wither away, man. Like the fig tree. Let me get Sirach chapter 22, verse 1. Sirach chapter 22, verse 1. A slothful man is compared to a filthy stone. Now, if you lazy, you're going to be a filthy stone, man. We just read about a lively stone. All right, someone that's being diligent. But if you lazy, you slothful, you compared to a filthy stone, and everyone will hiss him out of his disgrace. A slothful man is compared to the filth of a dunghill. Basically, someone that's being lazy, wasting their gift, not being diligent, the Most High compares it to dookie. All right? And you know the other word, but I'm not even going to say it. All right? So, Khan, you brother know what I'm talking about here, man. All right? Let me read Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 8. And we just running through precepts through the Spirit. Get Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 8. And it reads, He that diggeth a pit shall fall into it, and whoso breaketh an hedge, a serpent shall bite him. Right, so you don't want to be digging yourself a pit. Digging yourself a pit can also go into, you're not really dealing with these scriptures no more, man. You're not really caring about the Most High no more, man. All right? You digging yourself a pit, man. All right, that goes into sin too, but of course, if you digging yourself a small pit, if you think you're going to just keep on ignoring the Most High and everything going to be okay, and you go put in your bio that you're an Israelite on social media and you're going to be straight. No. Verse 18, I want to jump down to verse 18. By much slothfulness the building decayeth, and through idleness of the hands the house droppeth through. So when you lazy, man, you start decaying, man. You start spiritually decaying. Your house, your body is your house, man. All right, don't you know your body is the temple of the Most High? All right? So you got to understand that, man. All right, by much slothfulness the building decayeth. Your house, you can be decaying, man. All right? You got to understand that, man. And through idleness of the hands, the house droppeth through, man. You could just spiritually just be broken down, man. Through idleness, through being lazy, man. Through playing games, man. All right? So you want to make sure that you stand in the spirit, man. All right? And being diligent in this thing. Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 10. This is one of my favorite scriptures too. Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave whither thou goest. Right? So look, once it's over, man. And you got what you got, man. Neither you gonna be resurrected to everlasting life, or you gonna be resurrected to hell, man, to death. All right, to contempt. So you want to understand those things, man. And we're not talking about hell, burn, fire, man. We talk about the grave. Make that a point too. All right, because you got some brothers that take that out of context. So Khan, let me get Luke chapter 2 and verse 44. I think it's verse 49, yeah. Luke 2 and 49. And he said, this is talking about Yahushua. And he said unto them, how is it that ye sought me? So Yahushua, his parents was looking for him. All right, because he was lost. All right. And he said unto them, how is it that ye sought me? Wish ye not that I must be about my father's business? And they understood not what the saying which he spake unto them. Right. So basically, Yahushua was about his father's business, and that's how you should be. About your father's business, man. All right? You should be constantly about your father's business. All right? About the Most High's work. All right? And you're not being about his work if you know you're not really in this thing, man. You playing games, man. Matthew 25. It's like, you know. Let me get Matthew 15 and 29. That whole parable is good right here, man. But I'm going to get Matthew 15 and 29. 25 and 29. So like, for everyone that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that have not shall be taken away, even that which he hath. Right? And cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Right? So look, you want to make sure that you doing the things of the Most High, that you doing this work, that you having wisdom, that you waking up Israelites, all right, that you're doing things pleasing unto the Most High, all right. You want to make sure that you're doing those things, because if not, you're gonna be cast out, man. You wasting your gift, all right. So you want to stay in this thing, man, all right. And that whole parable is beautiful. It's also in Luke too. Let me get Sirach. Let me get a couple more precepts because we gotta go out to camp, Lord willing. This is Sirach chapter 4, verse 12. We'll start at 11. Wisdom exalteth her children, and layeth hold of them that seek her. He that loveth her loveth life, and they that seek to her early shall be filled with joy. So you should be seeking to this wisdom. All right. He that holdeth her fast shall inherit glory, and wheresoever she entereth, the Lord will bless. All right. They that serve her shall minister to the Holy One, and them that love her, the Lord doeth love. Whoso giveth ear unto her shall judge the nations, and he that attendeth unto her shall dwell securely. So you want to be attending to this wisdom. You want to be taking heed to this wisdom in these scriptures, man. You want to be diligent and consistently learning in this thing, man. All right? You want to be consistent in this, man. All right? Let me get Isaiah 33 and 6. We'll get a couple more precepts, like I said. Akim and Akwav. We got Isaiah 33 and 6. And it reads, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times." Right. So wisdom and knowledge is going to be the stability of your times. In strength of salvation, the fear of the Lord is his treasure. Right. So this is how you're going to be making through things like Jacob's trouble. All right. This is how you're going to make it through things spiritually, because some brothers might get put to death. But these are the things that's going to get you resurrected to the kingdom, and maybe the Lord's will, man, and get that spiritual body. All right, if it be the Most High's will. All right, so you want to understand those things, man. All right, let me get 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15. All right, 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15. And it reads, "Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth." Right, so if you're not studying, you ain't gonna rightly divide the word of truth. You got a lot of brothers that's in this thing, but they not really studying like that, man. And you could tell they not really rightly dividing it, man. All right, they don't got their own things that they don't push on the scriptures, their own doctrines they don't mix with it. So you got to make sure to study to show yourself approved. And how you gonna study without the book? That's like trying to study without the study guide, man. You was given a study guide with all the answers on it, but you didn't you put it in the shredder and shredded it up, man. When the time for the test came around, you around looking stupid, man. All right. So kind, I'm gonna get one more precept and then we're gonna head out. I want to make it longer, but I gotta get out the camp. So Lord willing, we'll do multiple videos throughout the week. This is 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 14. "We know that we have passed from death unto life, because we love the brethren." All right. "He that loveth not his brother about the death." Salaki, is that what I want? I'm in John. I'm tripping. Salaki. I'm in 1 John. Salaki, I'm tripping. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 14. Salaki for that, Yasha Allah. All right. 2 Peter 3 and 14, this is the point I want to get. Wherefore, beloved, seeing that ye look for such things, be diligent, that ye may be found of him in peace, without spot and blameless. So you want to be diligent in this thing, man. All right, that's what's gonna show the Most High. That's what's gonna make you without spot and blameless. All right, in the eyes of the Most High. So you got to be diligent in this thing, and you got to be a doer of these things, man. All right, and not a hearer only, but the key point is be consistent in learning, man. All right, be consistent and diligent in this, man. All right, but with that, hopefully, brothers and sisters was edified. We're gonna go ahead and close out through the spirit and the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Like I said, Lord willing, we'll have a lot of videos hitting the channel this week. I got one already that's gonna post. We're about to head out to camp, so Lord willing, it, whatever happens with that too. So, like I said, hopefully, brothers and sisters, Akim and Akwaf was edified through the spirit and the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. With that, we want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh by Shema Mashiach, woman like Yahushua, Barakatham. Shalom to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. Shalom Yasha Allah and Kwam Yasha Allah. Till next time, Lord willing. Shalom.